Hello, this is Master Chief 8810, and this is an update on how I optimized my PC for Battlefield 4. I made a video before showing you how to optimize Windows 10 for gaming, very basic stuff and not so informative. But in this video I will show you how I have optimized my PC for Battlefield 4 gaming. Okay. So to optimize your Windows 10 for best performance in Battlefield 4, you need to do the following. If you have any overclocking utilities or utility, you need to uninstall them. In my previous video on how to optimize Windows 10 for gaming, I suggested that you could use MSI Afterburner. And while that is true, and while it can give you more FPS and more performance in game, this is not necessarily true for Battlefield 4. I know that people have different experience with having a overclocking utility running while playing Battlefield 4. For some it's an issue, for some it's not. So if you see this video and you are having an issue with Battlefield 4, I recommend you trying that out. And also for the drivers, my system language is now currently in Norwegian. Sorry about that, but I think you can manage to get the point. Nevertheless, so if you go to Control Panel and uninstall programs, what you should do is uninstall or have a clean install where you only install the NVIDIA graphics driver and the NVIDIA PhysX system software. It has been known that the driver for HD audio to cause issue with Battlefield 4. So I don't know if that was an issue for me, but I just thought, okay, I'm not usually connecting my PC to an HDMI and using both video and audio output from that. So I don't need the HD audio driver. So go ahead and uninstall it. And also if you're running SLI, I don't know if you've noticed, but it will give you some problems in Battlefield 4 performance. So I have uninstalled the Vulkan driver. So that's it regarding the Windows 10 optimization to get the best performance in Battlefield 4. Let's move on to the in-game settings. Okay, so the in-game settings, I use texture quality high, texture filtering high, lighting quality low because it is a huge FPS killer, effects quality to medium, also can affect the frames per second, the post-process quality on low because it can be a huge FPS killer for you also. And the reason why I did this is to get high frames per second when I'm in areas of smoke or explosions. I could before drop down to like 20-30 FPS. I don't know why, and since I'm also now recording games, I needed the frames to be higher because it can have an impact of when you record games. It can have an impact on your FPS as well. So these are the settings for high performance in Battlefield 4, and of course if you have a good graphics card, you can put those guys up. Mesh quality on ultra because you need this to see enemies at the longest possible distance, and terrain quality also. Terrain decoration I've set low, and that is actually kind of an allowed cheat or hack in Battlefield 4 because decoration it's you don't get as much trees, bushes and so on, and grass, so you actually will be able to spot your enemies better. So if your enemy is lying inside of a bush that he thinks he's covered and you have this set to low, the bush isn't there, so you just see the enemy lying there. Or for example if it's grass or something similar. So that is just set to low on that very account. I don't use anti-aliasing deferred, anti-aliasing pose. I've seen that this is actually the in-game FXAA. So this is set to high to give me a better image. I use 1080p, so it's good for me to have some anti-aliasing on. Ambient occlusion put to off because of my problems with smoke and explosions. I also turned off motion blur completely, and I'm not quite sure what to do with this yet. You can see it controls if the first person zoomed weapons will be blurred or not. I haven't found my preferred setting on this one, but I will give you an update on that if I change my mind. But the motion blur amount, when you turn it to 0%, it won't actually give you 0% in the whole gameplay of Battlefield 4. I don't know if you've noticed, but if you get hit by enemies, things around you will get very blurry, and you won't be able to see as good as you were before you were getting hit. So this we need to fix in a user.cfg file. I'll show you how. Okay, so how do you make this user.cfg file? You make a new text document, and then you paste in the text down in the description. And when you've done that, you go to File, Save As, and you find your where the game is installed. And then you have to change the file type to all files. And then you call user.cfg. You hit that save button, and it will be and it will look like this in your Battlefield 4 game folder. And please make sure that you've done it correctly by checking the type of the file. You can also go to Properties and see here on the file type, it should say CFG file and not TXT file. So if it says TXT file, you've done it wrong and you need to try it again. Okay, so the user CFG file will turn off the motion blur completely in game, and also the max variable FPS I've set to 120. You can try to set this to 60 if your computer screen is 60 Hertz. I've tried mine is 60 Hertz. I've tried to set it at 60, but I got a lot of screen tearing, and I had to just bump it up to get away the screen tearing. I would suggest that you don't turn on VSync in game. Leave that off. But you can try here to put yours at 60 or 59.99, 59.98 or something, just to see if you can get it to work. For me, there was a lot of screen tearing, so it didn't work for me. The PerfOverlay.DrawFps is what if you saw in the video before, I had a FPS counter in the upper right corner. So that is basically what this does. It gives you the FPS counter. I would suggest that you leave this on for now, so that you can verify that the game is loading your user CFG file. So if you have done this correctly and you start up the game and you get the FPS counter, you have done this correctly. And then if you don't want this anymore, you can just change it to 0 or just delete the whole line here and it will go away. Okay, so that's how you optimize and tweak Battlefield 4 settings in-game and using the user.cfg file to get the best performance of Battlefield 4. And also, please check out the drivers that I mentioned in this video. It can be an issue for you too. I don't know. You just have to check it out, and hopefully, if you have had a problem with Battlefield 4 performance, this will now be fixed. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Like the video if you did, and please subscribe to my channel.